So, reading Srimad Bhagavatam 4:37. Tesham vicharatam patyam tirtanam pavane chaya pitasya kim narocheta avakhanam samagamaha. Tesham, of them, vicharatam, who travel, padvyam, by their feet, tirtanam, the holy places, pavane ichaya, with a desire to purify, viddhasya, the materialistic person who is always fearful. Kim, why? Na, not. Rocheta, become pleasing. Avakanam, of your devotees. Samagamaha, meeting. Translation, my dear Lord, your personal associate, devotees wander all over the world to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. Is not such activity pleasing to those who are actually afraid of material existence? Please repeat, dear Lord, your personal associates, devotees wander all over the world to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. Is not such activity pleasing to those who are actually afraid of material existence? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are two kinds of devotees. One is called a Gostyanandi and the other is called Bhajananandi. The word Bhajananandi refers to the devotee who does not move but remains in one place. Such a devotee is always engaged in devotional service to the Lord. He chants the Mahamantra as taught by many acharyas and sometimes go out for preaching work. The Gostyanandi is one who desires to increase the number of devotees all over the world. He travels all over the world just to purify the world and the people residing in it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, Prithivitya Chanagradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Haive Mora Nam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted his followers to move all over the world to preach in every town and village. In Chaitanya Sampradaya, those who strictly follow the principle of Lord Chaitanya must travel all over the world to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya, which is the same as preaching the words of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The more the devotees preach the principles of Krishna Katha, the more people throughout the world will benefit. Devotees like great sage Narada, who travel all over to preach, are called Gostyanandi. Narada Muni is always wandering throughout the universe just to create different types of devotees. Narada even made a hunter, a devotee. He also made Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Devotees, actually all devotees are indebted to the great sage Narada, for he has wandered both in heaven and in hell. A devotee of the Lord is not even afraid of hell. He goes to preach the glories of the Lord everywhere, even in hell, because there is no distinction between heaven and hell for a devotee. Narayana paraha sarve na kutaschana bibhayati swarga apavarga narakesva apitulyartha darshinaha. A pure devotee of Narayana is never afraid of going anywhere and everywhere. For him, heaven and hell are one and the same. Such devotees wandering all over the world deliver those who are actually afraid of this material existence. Some people are already disgusted with material existence, been confused and frustrated by material enjoyment, and some people are intelligent, are interested in understanding the Supreme Law. Both may take advantage of the pure devotee who wanders throughout the world. When a pure devotee goes to a place of pilgrimage, he desires to purify that holy place of pilgrimage. Many sinful men bathe in the holy waters of the places of pilgrimage. They take their bath in the waters of Ganga and Yamuna at places such as Prayag, Vrindavan and Mathura. In this way, the sinful men are purified by but their sinful actions and reaction remain at the holy place of pilgrimage. When a devotee comes to take his bath at those places of pilgrimage, the sinful reaction left by the sinful man are neutralized by the devotee. Tirtha kurvanti tirtani svantaha stena gadaprata. Because the devotees always carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, wherever he goes becomes a place of pilgrimage, a holy place for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is therefore the duty of everyone to associate with a pure devotee and thus attain freedom from material contamination. Everyone should take advantage of the wandering devotees whose only business is to deliver conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jnana Shalakaya Chakshvadan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satpitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Didati Swapadandikam Vandayam Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathamitam Kamsajim Shadvitam Savadutam Parijanam Sritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Shaganvitam Cha He Krishna Guruna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhudevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namarom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Jagadadhara Shri Gaurava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, thank you very much for joining in on our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Very happy to have your kind association. So here Prabhupada is giving in a very important purport about devotees. So there are two kinds of devotees. One is the preacher and the other one is who does bhajan. Two class. Yes? So the preacher, because our line is the preaching line, because we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yare Deka Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. Yes? Correct? So preaching is our priority. And of course, a preacher is always glorified because he does good for the others, you know. That verse is there. I think it is here. The fortunate King Parikshit said, "O Brahmana," this thing is, can you increase the volume please? "O Brahmana, by your mercy only you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage. All by your presence here as my guests. By your mercy, we who are but unworthy royalty have become eligible to serve the devotee." So you see, this is the point that Parikshit Maharaj is making to Sukadeva Goswami. See how by your mercy only we have been sanctified. You have sanctified us, making us like onto places of pilgrimage, association of a pure devotee. Because this other words quoted many times. Simply by remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you and washing your holy feet and offering you a seat in our home. Yes? See how powerful the devotees are. Devotees are very, very powerful. Why they are powerful? Because, is it the next verse? Because they carry the Lord in the heart, you know. Just as an atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the innumerable, invulnerable sins of a man can immediately vanquish in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. See how powerful the devotee is. So you see the point that Parikshit Maharaj is making on the position of the saint. So saintly personalities are extremely, extremely powerful. So also here, the thing is, and this verse you can see many places. So we just show you. We go to this verse here. Here it says here, living entities are superior to inanimate objects, O blessed mother, and among them living entities who display life symptoms are better. Animals with developed consciousness are better than them, and better still are those who have developed sense perception. Among the living entities who have developed sense perception, those who have developed the sense of taste are better than those who have developed only the sense of touch. Better than them are those who develop the sense of smell, and better still are those who have developed the sense of hearing. Better than those living entities who can perceive sound are those who can distinguish between one form and another. Better than them are those who have developed upper and lower sets of teeth, and better still are those who have many legs. Better than them are the quadruples, and better still are the human beings. You see the breakdown? Huh? That's why you can read the purport. Among the human beings, the society which is divided according to quality and work is best. And in that society, the intelligent men who are designated as Brahmanas are best. Among the Brahmanas, one who has studied the Vedas is the best. And among the Brahmanas who studied the Vedas, one who knows the actual purport of the Vedas is the best. Huh? You see the breakdown? Better than the Brahmana who knows the purport of the Vedas is he who can dissipate all doubts. And better than him is one who strictly follows the Brahminical principle. And better than him is one who is liberated from all material contamination. And better than him is a pure devotee who executes devotional service without expectation of reward. You see the breakdown? Huh? How a devotee's position is so extraordinary, huh? Topmost. Therefore, I do not find a greater person than he who has no interest outside of mind, and who therefore engage and dedicate all his activities and all his life, everything unto me without cessation. Yes? So you see the position of a devotee, especially one who preaches Krishna consciousness, is a topmost personality. Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who preaches, you know, right? Yeah, 1868. Anyone who preaches my, there's nobody more dear than him, correct? So you see how the exalted position, one who preaches Krishna consciousness is topmost person. My dear King Yudhishthira, the Brahmanas, especially those engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord throughout the entire world, are recognized and worshipped by the Supreme Personality of God, who is the heart and soul of all creation. The Brahmanas, by their preaching, sanctify the three worlds with the dust of their lotus feet, and thus they are worshipable even for Krishna. So you see the preaching devotee, topmost, even worshipable for Krishna. Yes, Krishna is saying they are the topmost. What happened? Why is it happening? Krishna said they are topmost. Here, this is spoken by who? This is Narada Muni speaking. Yes? Also the gopis are also speaking. You know that verse? 10. 15. I thought it was 9. 10:31, 9. The last verse of that, gopis don't pray, Huh? 9, right? 39, 9, right? That gopi, all that is how that, what is his name? That king, what's the king's name? The king who is Prataparudra, was speaking that Gita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy in the park, he refused to meet him. So he was speaking all these verses, and this is the last verse, of that series of verses. There, this is called Gopi Gita, I think. The nectar of your words and the description of activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. This narration transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reaction and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and filled with spiritual power. Certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. This is spoken by the Gopis. This is actually the last verse among the Gopi Gita, there are 9 verses or something. So you see here, there's some more there. But his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu closed the mouth of Pratapa. It's enough. They've given me enough nectar. So you see how a preacher is a very extraordinary personality. A preacher means a devotee. We're not talking about Mayavad preachers. The Mayavadis, we have no position here. Then, even what's his name? Speaking, what is it? Vritasura, correct? Muktanam api sittanam. What is that? Hello? 6:4, is it? 6:14, 6:14, huh? Yeah, 6:14:5, huh? This verse is quoted so many times. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prasantatma bodhisvati mahamune. O great sage, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees are fully peaceful, are extremely rare. Okay? Devotees are not somebody you see them on the road every day. No? They are very rare. Among devotees, of course, there are 3 classes: third class, second class, and first class. The first class devotee, one who preaches. Second class also preach. They are not so well versed. But the first class devotee. Just see one pure devotee like Prabhupada. Yes? And he travelled to America, correct? Imagine if we have not gone, stayed in Vrindavan and just do bhajan. What will happen to our lives? I am sure we will be very happy. Thank God Prabhupada did not come. I could have gone to the disco and I got done all my... Yes? Right? Correct? So you see now even Prahlad Maharaj is saying here, what is that verse? 7:9. So this verse, you see here, very important. Prayena Deva Muniya Swamukti Kama. That almost all, Prayana, almost all, Munaya means all the sages, they like what? Swamukti Kama. They want to what? Interested in only their self. They want to get mukti, this. And it's called Kama because it's still not purified desire. Understand this? Maunam charanti. We practice this, what? Maunam, what? Silence. Charanti, they go. Vijana means a place where there is nobody. Jana means people. Vijana means solitary places, Na, they are not interested. Para artha, nishta, they are not interested in others' welfare. They are interested in their own deliverance. Na etan vihaya kripana vimumukshaha eko. They are called kripanas, mindless. But I am not interested in this. Nayam tvalasya sharanam pramato nupasi. I am interested in helping others. You see this? My dear Lord, nourishment there. I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance. Not caring for big cities and towns, they go to the Himalayas or to the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Mount of Buddha. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone. Leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals, I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. This is the mood of a... Yes? See how it is explaining. One line is enough for the whole purpose. So this is the way we should cultivate this mood of trying to preach and help others. You understand? We are not interested in helping other souls. Then we are supposed to be selfish. Yes? Yes or no? Yeah? Huh? So says, if someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, samsara means cycle of birth and death. How can one who is actually learned and merciful and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can the gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise man or kind man can allow this. Yes? Yeah? No, Prabhu, let them all go to hell. No, they deserve it. Huh? No, our compassion. In fact, if you cannot think like this, then you cannot go back to Godhead. The word is what? Cannot. The most you maybe end up in the Brahman effulgence. Yeah? Oh, I know. This is spoken by Dhruva Maharaj. He said, if you cannot do this supreme welfare work, then you cannot go back to Vaikuntha. Yes? 4:12:36. Yeah? Sometimes the devotees think, no, I mind my own business. can't go to last 2 days. You deserve to go to hell anyway. You're giving me so much headaches. Yes? The self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within the material world give off reflected light. Yasha prabhata bhavato jagananda koti koti svasesa vasudadi vibhuti bhinam tat brahmaniskalam ananta asesa bhutam govindamadi purusham aham bhajami. This is Yasha Prabha, this light. Coming from where? Whose light? From the body of Krishna is coming. And you see the same thing. Self-effulgent Vaikuntha planet, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within this material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Again, you see the word here, very strong word. Cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only person who constantly engage in the welfare activities for other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planet. Forget it. Just now I said, correct? They cannot go into the spiritual world. They are not possible. I think the most they may go to Brahman effulgence and then fall down again. Yes? So the preacher is very, very important. So I knowledge, Krishna says the whole Bhagavad Gita, right? The whole idea is to get what? Knowledge. Yes? Where is the verse? Hello? 4:33. See, Krishna is saying, among everything, one to get knowledge. This is knowledge. Otherwise, who chastise the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possession. After all, the son of Prita, all sacrifice of work culminated in transcendental knowledge. That's why he said in the next verse that everybody quote, Tat vidhi parnipatena, go to a self-realized soul. Yes, to get what? Kapila Dev also said, I think it's 326. 326, 2 or 3 or 1, you know. Lord Shiva also says, I think it's 424, 74 or something, 72 or 74 or something. Lord Brahma also said, Jnana Prayasam Udapasya. See, everyone is saying that you must get knowledge. Because once you get knowledge and coupled with devotional service, then you can come out of Krishna's mind. I mean, I'm not going through all the verses, you can refer. So this is very important. And knowledge, you get knowledge and you don't give, then as what's the name in that verse? No, there's a verse that Devotee, she was like, it says that, I think it's 10:2 something, that she is like, the Lord is in her womb and she's hidden, just like sages who have all this knowledge but they cannot preach, there's a comparison in that verse. So knowledge means to give. If you just keep, then it will be lost. Understand? So you cannot be like a miser who's saving knowledge. That's not possible. The more you give, the more it expands. Then that was I think it's 10 to 10 to 19. In this verse, you see, Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all cause, the foundation of entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute to the world for the benefit of human society. This is the point. So it's like a person who got knowledge but cannot distribute to the world for the benefit of human society. So this knowledge must be distributed. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's our whole philosophy is what? Yare deka, tare kaha, Krishna upadesh. Amara jnana, ena, tara, guru ena, tara, tes. So the whole idea is preaching. But they say, these Hindu walas, our Hindu religion we cannot preach. It is not for preaching. Our Hindu, only you can be born Hindu. You cannot, what? Yes. Yes or not? It is so high class, you must be born into it. Can you imagine this? Krishna is saying preach, Narada Muni is saying preach, Lord Shiva is saying preach, Brahma is saying preach, but our Hindu wala is saying don't preach. Look at that. What? Must be made in India. What? Can you imagine this? See? So therefore, because it is not taught properly, it is not taught. Prabhupada many times say, I am one Indian, I went out and see, if all Indians come out, how much we can do? But Indian who come out must have knowledge, no? He comes out and begs for his chapati and rice and dal, then what kind of person is that? But practically the one who comes out, he accepts the culture of the contaminated person and he all get messed up. Is it not? He comes out and he learns how to eat meat, have illicit sex, gamble and intoxicate. Instead of coming out to preach, he is getting what? Preached. Then what is it? I remember one lady, she came from Gujarat, I was there in Houston at that time in 1983. I said, where are you working? No, I'm working in the McDonald's. I said, why are you working in the McDonald's? No, I'm not eating, I'm just serving only. You see how much he was talking to me? In the Shastra he said, one who eats, one who serves, one who cooks, one who rests, one who transports, everybody is implicated, correct? He's thinking, no, as long as I don't breathe, it's alright. No. This is spoken in Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita it is said. Just like one guy came to me here, he is Brahmin from Bombay. I was preaching, you vegetarian? Yeah, no, I'm vegetarian. Are you eating onion? Yes, I'm eating onion. Then they're talking and then, where is it said that you cannot eat onion and garlic? They asked me this question. Okay, I show you. I took out the Manu Samhita and he said they cannot eat onion, garlic. And you don't know? He's a priest. Pakka priest from what? Some karma kanda. You understand? Because this complaint, as he was telling, the whole propaganda in India, they want everybody to eat eggs, So the vegetarian, yeah, your father, right? You watched the movie, the TV ad, and then he went and bought the eggs. See? They think that without the egg, the children will drop dead, because no energy. Elephants are eating 10 eggs a day. Can you imagine this? The horse, they are eating 5 eggs a day. They can run so fast. This is propaganda. The whole preaching is against Vedic what? This whole thing is geared up not to bring the soul by hearing the topics of Krishna, how he can get purified. But no. You understand? So we need the help of a pure devotee, one person, Prabhupada. And he left behind his most important thing. What is that? His purpose, his books. Correct? Yes? Even then, they are not interested. How unfortunate the whole world is. Correct? Actually, I am not from India, I am outside India. I am considered what? Paradesh, Malaysia, yes? Yes? Out of India, I am fallen, correct? But you are coming in by the mercy of Prabhupada. The temple is here. I don't think if you did not come here, you will become a devotee. Huh? Correct? Is the mercy of? So therefore, our number one priority is to become a Gosyanandi, to expand our, and to do that work, definitely in temple. Definitely in temple means what? Only paid pujaris are there. There will be devotees. And devotees means who? One who is what? Yeah, you have so many temples here. There's so many. How many temples they are preaching? I don't see even a Vyasasan in the temple. Have you went to all the South Indian temples? Any Vyasasan there you saw? You saw? Huh? So which is the most important thing in the temple? Vyasasan? Huh? No. Huh? And what's the Vyasasan for? Some cats and dogs to sit? Huh? Yeah. Katha, correct? Preaching. Understand? Preaching means what? The person must be qualified. Correct? He has to have knowledge. He simply talk like a cat and dog, then what's the use? That's why Krishna said in that 432, you must be realized soul. You must know. What you must know? That I am situated in everybody's heart and everything comes from me. Correct? 435, yes? What is that knowledge? That everything is situated in me, correct? Yes? So that part they don't know, they think everything is okay, heavenly God is okay, everything you do is okay. Huh? You see the kind of preaching they are doing? Then the person is confused. If I learn, actually when I was beginning my so-called Krishna consciousness, before I got Prabhupada book, I went to one so-called guy, supposed to be some Swami. I asked him, how you pray? He said, you go to all the gods, you bow down to everybody, and who you like, you sit down there and meditate. That was his training for me, you know. I was confused, which one to go? Yeah? Huh? Until I got Prabhupada books. When I got the Bhagavad Gita Prabhupada, actually I was a little bit too smart. My brother, he brought back the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and some back to God. I started reading the Bhagavatam first. And I was reading the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada in the purport is saying, one must first read the Bhagavad Gita. I ignored, I carried on. I remember very clearly. And then again Prabhupada is saying, one must first read the Bhagavad Gita. Then I, humbled down and put down the Bhagavatam. I started reading the Bhagavad Gita. See how it is completely puffed up. Of course, when and I read the Gita, my life changed. And immediately I thought, why not we buy this book and give to everybody, then they all will know the truth. I was really wrong. Then I realized that there are a lot of people are fighting with you. You know, when I started my Krishna consciousness way back in 1975, I was going to the shop to buy Bhagavad Gita I saw. There was only one Bhagavad Gita in the shop. There was this Ramakrishna's missions Bhagavad Gita. I'm talking about way back in the 70s. You know, which is completely Maya. Nobody understands this. I never got it anyway. Then I was traveling in the plane going to India. And I happened to see, because those days when you travel, you have a big screen, everybody have to sit down in the plane, not like nowadays, it's all behind your chair, right? Those days, what? Have you been there? You see, you're forced to see, And then you cannot change. Now you can switch to many channels, but there you are forced to watch it. So there was, I remember clearly, it was on the eve of Deepavali. Yes, I remember. I was going to India for some preaching thing. Then I was watching a scene, there was a military parade, and all those people are like graduating from that parade. So there was a Muslim man holding a Quran and a Christian guy holding Bible. And I was like dozing off. But then I saw that the Indian man was holding a book, Bhagavad Gita. And I saw it was Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. I was very much happy to see that scene. So why I am relating this is because in the 70s, I was only, whose book was that? The Ramakrishna. And now, even in the movies, there's only one book. Whose book? That means we have wiped out this so-called other guy. Practically, if you want to buy Bhagavad Gita, whose Gita you get nowadays? That's all. Yes. Namo, this Chinmayananda, all these other guys are gone, finished. Of course, there's another problem. Many people read and they just cannot. That's why we have now so many classes, children class, adult class, so many classes. That's why this Gostyanandi devotees are very, very important. Of course, to get them there, we need training. You cannot just buy the book and that's it. Tomorrow you become a scholar, no? Correct? Can? Possible? So association is required. That's why last week we gave the class. You must associate with who? In fact, in the proper right, association with those who are not advanced is forbidden. This is very, very important. That's why unless you associate, how you will learn? You cannot learn. Associating with the advanced devotee doesn't mean that you just sit down and learn only. You have to also serve. Understand? Not that you simply, I come here, sit down here and that's it. You have to also surrender and what? Tat vidhi parnipatena pariprasnena seva. No service, don't care, nothing. Who? Then how you will learn? You understand? It is just a package. Everything must be done. Not that I only do, advanced devotee only I must hear them. Okay, I hear, I finished. Mark my attendance and go home, finish. No. You got to what? Serve. It's very important. You understand? Then yes, by their mercy, then things become very clear. Yet, what is that word? Yashe deve. What is it? Yata deve tata guru. So by serving the spiritual master and Krishna, then the purports of the scriptures are automatically revealed. So this is very important point. It's not that we just simply, because I mean, in my personal experience, I could not meet Prabhupada. He was there in India and I was here. I took the Bhagavad Gita in 75 October. I was thinking, who is this man? I don't want to surrender to no man. I want to go to Krishna. That was how I was thinking. We were so puffed up. Then I read, and 1976 October, I remember very clearly because so many years ago, I decided in my heart that I want to give my life to this person. That was immediately everything started working. Devotee going, he said, you want to be initiated. I didn't know what meaning of initiation, all that stuff. So then, Prabhupada kept the blessing, I got connected. And one thing led to another thing. But what I'm trying to say is that we should learn how to come to the point of trying to, yes, I want to take up this mission. That's the Gostyanandi. He wants to what? Take up the mission to preach. If you want to take up the mission to preach, then how? Just like our ISKM, we have devotees who are surrendered, running this organization, different parts of the world, dedicated, at the expense of so many hearts. So we need devotees like this. We need what? People to surrender and to push the movement. Correct? If everybody want to be comfortable sitting, yes, then what? Yeah, nice, yeah, you can be sitting. But the preaching spirit, that's why it says they go all over they only come to Singapore. What? Where they go? Yes. They're all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness. That priority. You understand? Dedicating. So we need people in this category. You understand? We have to understand this. Because for householders it's a little bit difficult. I understand that. But certain part of your life you should, come out and... So the more we have people, more we are going everywhere in the world, then why we cannot preach? I don't think the whole world is covered, yeah? Even India also not everywhere covered. Correct? So many places they require people to preach Krishna consciousness. It is a very important thing, preaching. Because now we have got the Zoom and all that, you can always, I think we are trying to do something in different vernacular, races. But still, the shortage is very acute, How many classes to do? How many back? It's impossible. I was doing 8 classes, 10 classes a week. I had no time for it. How much to do? So we need help. Because now I have dedicated the task to many of you. You are doing in your own thing. That's very nice. It's very good to see. But the more and more we preach, the more and more we get the mercy of Prabhupada and Krishna. That is the only way to please Krishna, to please the spiritual master. Have to learn to preach. Yes? And you don't know, you can always ask. There are so many devotees here who can always help you. Correct? Yes? So we need to do this. Every one of you, simply read Prabhupada books. And whatever you understand, you speak. That's all. Any difficulty in that? Correct? Yeah. So try. Try to understand the importance of preaching Krishna consciousness. And if you think you cannot preach, then all you can do is to get some books and try to distribute them. Keep some books in your bag. Whoever you meet, you can always. And Prabhupada's books are the best. He is the best preacher. If anybody can do preaching better than him, I don't think so. Correct? Huh? So please try to, of course, to preach you need strength. Strength comes from Guru. Guru means what? Follow his rules and regulations. That way you get inspired, utsaham, enthusiasm, determination, and of course you have to be patient. Not that you go and speak to someone and tomorrow he becomes a pure devotee. In fact, you give out the book and the person who read it may come 50 years later. You don't even know. You understand? See, what kind of business is you buy something and you do investment and you see result 50 years later. And that also if Krishna wants to give you the result. If he doesn't want to give you the result, what do you do? Correct? Just imagine. So try to understand the determination.
You told, I think yesterday, about the 11 to 46 purport of second class devotee, right? I read the whole purport, very insightful. And there it is mentioned that sometimes the devotees don't speak. Like the verse is even quoted by Allah. Sorry.
I don't know, Prahlad will say 2 times different things.
Not Prahlad. It is 10th canto. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur quoted 10, 20, 36. Sometimes in autumn the water falls down from the tops of the hills to supply clean water, and sometimes the water stops. Similarly, sometimes great saintly persons distribute clear knowledge, and sometimes they are silent. In this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami has mentioned that although the first class devotee of the Lord may at times exhibit apparent hatred toward the demons because of entering the mood of the Lord's pastimes, the immediate devotee should avoid such feelings. Furthermore, the intermediate devotee should not in any way associate with the powerful atheistic class of men, because there is danger that his mind will become bewildered by such association. According to Krishna Chakravarti Thakur, if a Vaishnava preacher encounters one who is envious of him, the preacher should remain far away from such an envious person. But the Vaishnava preacher may meditate upon ways to save the envious class of men. Such meditation is called sadachara or saintly behavior. Srila Jiva Goswami has mentioned Prahlad Maharaj as an example of a saintly person. And then he quotes that 7943, I'm always concerned for those. Then he says, although a Vaishnava preacher constantly meditates on the welfare of all living entities, he will not associate with those who are unreceptive to the message of the Supreme Lord Krishna. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that even Bharat Maharaj, Vyasadeva and Shukadeva Goswami do not exhibit their mercy indiscriminately. And then there is explanation of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur stating that very elaborate explanation on why this is actually the Upeksha principle of the second class.
No, that also we have been told, we cannot preach to the faithless. Normally we also experience when we speak to someone and the guy is completely weird, we avoid, we don't waste our time. We want to preach to someone who is innocent, receptive, Someone is argumentative and we get fed up talking to him naturally, So saintly people also the same, they like to give the mercy, but if someone don't want to take, then what to do? Ignore, avoid. Yes, the natural consequence of that. But of course, somebody who's a fool, you would like to go and, unnecessarily, try to preach to somebody and then usually you get into a fight. It's always the case. People are not receptive, you talk to them, fight on it, shouting at each other. I mean, for my case, many times, I'm noted for that. I'll scream, I'll careless. I remember I went to one place, I was the early days, I was doing book distribution on High Street. I went to this shop and then not shop, office, So he invited me, Swamiji, come in, and I was preaching and he was arguing and we both ended up shouting and screaming at each other. Then I left the place, I was disgusted, a rascal, Then surprisingly I walked there many other offices, I walked by, I thought this guy is going to be there, and this guy happened to see me, hey Swami, come in. Come in again, what's going to happen? So I went inside, you are the right person, Actually you are speaking the truth, I wanted to see you so that I can get your books and I want to give to my... I was surprised, I was shocked. I said, what happened? So the screaming and all that, it made sense, It made sense in his head. I remember the scene when we were in Hong Kong, in Guangzhou, that one guy was speaking Mayavad. Remember the priest, we had the program? You remember, you were there, we were talking to that Mayavad, the boy is supposed to be a priest, and I was screaming my head off at that poor guy, the little boy, more or less. And then the father came here, Prabhu, please forgive my son, for speaking all this nonsense. So you cannot, when you are preaching, it's bold, you're not just, somebody screaming, okay Prabhu, okay, we're going home. No? You understand? Even Prabhupada, what you see, his eyes, Prabhupada's eyes is popping out, you can see, he is so angry. Preaching, it's not that we are some kind of dodos, hey Prabhu, the guy is, shouting, okay. Come on, we don't buy this stuff, who cares? You understand? The preacher has to be bold, Prabhupada said. Roaring like a lion outside and becoming a mouse inside. Not becoming a lion here and becoming a mouse outside. Not mouse, lamb. You understand? We have to, that's why, I remember, because I was fixed, I care less. Our society, pretty much established here. If I had been a scary cat, you understand? I don't think the society would accomplish, of course, Prabhupada and Krishna's mercy, but the devotee has to become bold. Prabhupada, you see, he never compromised. One time, I think that's in the book, no? We have time. Prabhupada was getting this building, in, I think where is this place? Japan, Osaka. So there, your 3-story building, one guy wanted to give it to him, and he also invited some other swamis to talk and all that. So Prabhupada first spoke, kept the class. And then it was the other swamis to turn, so Prabhupada had to wake up in the Vyasasthana, and Prabhupada refused to wake up. Prabhupada just sat there. And then the guy was speaking. So he is speaking, and then he went into Mayavad stuff. Prabhupada says, start the kirtan. Devotees, they don't know because he's speaking in Hindi, correct? So Prabhupada, the devotee is all white devotee. Prabhupada started kirtan. And he's speaking. And the donor, you want to give the 3-story building to us, Prabhupada started kirtan. And he started. And the guy was so embarrassed, finished, I cannot speak anymore. And that the guy wanted to donate, he was so frustrated. He didn't give the building to us. The Prabhupada didn't care. He did not care whether he got the building or no building, he didn't care. Because he did not want the guy to speak this Mayavad nonsense. And cut him off. You understand? This is how we are properly showing example. Of course, not that we go out and try to imitate Prabhupada. I mean, we'll be careful on that. But our point is that we cannot compromise. We cannot at any time compromise with anybody if they are not in line with our Krishna. You follow? That's why Prabhupada said in one purport, I don't know where I showed you all before, if someone say they are good, we are good, we must only say we are good. You understand? Everyone is bad. Where is that purport? 7 something, I think. 17? 24. Then Prabhupada. So we have to understand that preaching means representing Krishna. And preaching when you represent Krishna, the super soul in your heart is also Krishna is hearing. You understand? Krishna is what? Hearing what you are speaking. If you are talking some kind of compromising nonsense, then Krishna also is hearing. Then how are you going to get the blessings? Correct? Yes or no? Krishna was in the heart when, what's her name? Rukmini. She was thinking, if this Brahmin don't come, I will take this poison and kill myself. You remember the part in that Bhagavad? And Krishna was walking, oh, she is so dedicated. You know, yes, she can be my wife. See how? So this is what Krishna is watching, what you are doing. You understand? You cannot cheat Krishna, you know, he is there. What? So we have to become, we have to protect Krishna, we have to protect Guru, we have to protect. We cannot try to, strike what? Balance. You will not work. There is no balance business. Yes? You want to balance yourself? Then start some North Indian, South Indian, temple. You come under the classification of what? Hindu Dharma. Everything can. Hindu Dharma what? What cannot then? Everything can go. Correct? Yes? Correct? That's why we are seen as an outcast. Are you a Hindu? I don't think you are Hindu. They label us like this. What? Because we don't strike a chord with them. Firstly, we are what? Devotees. When we say Krishna, then they will say, why only Krishna? Why only? No, we at least you don't see us going mixing with all of them. You see us mixing with any one of them? Huh? Different. Vaishnava, different. You follow? So you try to, take that spirit. Doesn't mean that you take a sword now and go and kill all of the guys outside. But I'm saying you have that dynamism of preaching Krishna consciousness. I have given you the example. I was thinking I burned the guy through and through. But the next moment he is calling me to the office. I'm buying 5 Bhagavad Gita. I think 5 or 2 Bhagavad Gita he bought. Those days. So this is what we should present. Like the one man came here, he was, what was the guy name? Some Pandey, right? No, I like you. I like you people because you are preaching our dharma to everybody. Westerners, everyone. That is, I see this is only in your society. Did he not? You understand? Because they cannot preach. They cannot. They cannot bring any other races in. Not possible. Because there is so-called Ravi Shankar and all are bringing so many people. But that is what for you, what they are doing. They are doing some kind of exercise, isn't it? It's not really, the converting a person into Krishna consciousness. Putting tilak, shaved up. Prabhupada could do that. Not an easy task, to convert meditators to become devotees. It's not possible for anybody to do that. Extremely powerful personality. So, okay, I think I've taken your time so much. Any questions or anything? Somebody has questions? No. Okay, thank you very much for your kind association.